Hi guys, I'm Ryan Houston and welcome to my fly tying channel. The channel contains hundreds of different videos catering from beginners right through to the more advanced tyers and covering flies and patterns from all around the world. If you like what you see, stick around until the end of the video where generally you'll find the pattern description, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Let's get on with the show. Hi guys, so we're going to tie a sedge. This is a Stimulator Sedge. So hook that I have in the vise is a Hackle H130BL in a size 12, you can see that. This is a barbless fine wired hook. So thread for this one I'm going to use a Textream 60 orange. Start that at the front of our fly, keep the tag end under a bit of tension as it slides the wraps down onto the back of the preceding one for me. Get to the rear and snap that off. So tail on this fly is elk. It calls for elk hawk. I don't have elk hawk as such, but I do have elk. So elk comes in a whole variety of different colours, thicknesses, depending on which bit of the body it comes off. Hawk is obviously going to be a little bit finer, so I'm going to go for a sort of little portion of this that looks maybe a little bit finer and straighter than others. I'm going to nip out a little bit of that. What I'm going to do is pull out the fibres that don't really play ball, and I'm going to get rid of the under fur front as well. So what I want here is a little supporting tail. I don't want it to be too long. Maybe, yeah, that looks alright. So I'm going up. You can see that the wraps are fairly loose because I don't want it to splay out like deer hair until I get it to the position that I want. Then I tie it in tighter at the front, and then I'm going to wrap down rearwards. You can see that'll start to make it splay slightly, so once I get to the back my laps are just less tight, shall we say. If you wanted to be very particular, you could put this in a stacker and end up with nice square ends on it if that's what you like. So I'll trim off that spare end. So rib on this fly, it's a dry fly, so we're going to use a clear mono nylon. This is 2.5 pound, and I suppose not being a wire or anything, it's not going to add any additional weight to our fly and therefore sink it. So tie that in to the rear, and then we're going to put a body on of orange seal. So pick an orange. Don't want a really bright one. I'm going to pick a sort of a burnt orange. And then I'm going to wax up a bit of my thread. Set the dubbing up onto it. And here I want to draw the dubbing out into quite a long, thin rope, whatever you want to call it. Start at the back, take that forward. So we're doing maybe, what, 2/3 of the body with that. Tie over it, and then we are going to palmer the rear part of the fly with a red game hackle. So you want one of these sort of genetic-y cock hackles. Strip off a couple of fibres at the tip of this just to tie it in. And then we'll palmer the rear part of the fly. So one turn full, maybe two, and then backwards, 1, 2, 3, coming up underneath, take my rib through that and up the body in 4 turns. Doesn't really matter because it's clear nylon, you're not going to see it on this. And then tie that in at the front and trim off the hackle at the rear. Just preening the hackle a little bit. So need to put a wing on, so the wing is going to be the same as what the tail was, so the elk again. I'm going to take a maybe slightly bigger bunch this time. Again, pull out the longest fibres that aren't really matching up. Then I'll swap hands, hold it by the tip, and then flick or blow the bunch to get the fluff out of it. And this bit of elk actually has a curve to it, so what I'm going to try and do is utilize that as the curve of the wing. So I'm going to set this up on top till it's around about the tail length. Transfer hands, pinch it, put on a loose loop, and then tighten that down. It's wanting to rotate over, so I'm just holding the wing and rotate the base up. And again, twist it to straighten it until I get that tightened down, and then I will wrap backwards and then trim off. There, so like I said, if you wanted to have a much neater wing, you could put that in a deer hair stacker. What I'll do is I'll just take my thread back out of the road there, and what I'm going to do is have a quick flash with the lighter there, just to neaten up these tips so they're not in the way of where I want to create the head. And at this point I'm going to tie in my head hackle. So the head hackle on this is going to be a grizzle. I'm going to use again a genetic grizzle saddle feather. I'm going to strip off a couple of fibres just at the base of it here to give me something to tie in on. Tie that in at the back. Need to dub the front of it now. So dubbing wise, calling for a yellow seal. I'm going to use seal, but it may be easier to use something finer to dub, something like mohair or merino or something like that there. So again, a fine little noodly thing. I'm going to do one full turn. You can see that this hackle, like I said, is slightly larger than the one we used at the rear. I'm just trying to get it to settle in to the seal. When I get to the front of the seal, I'm going to do 1 to 2 full wraps. And as I hold it up on my side, come across the top of the hackle 2 times, fold everything back, I'm going to
try and get that head to go backwards so as I don't interfere with the eye. I'm going to put on a hitch to hold it in place. I'll set my thread off to the side to hang here, and then I'm going to trim off the hackle. Take my varnish applicator, hold all this back, put on a little blade of that for the head, and then put on a few hitches into that wet varnish. I'll just create me a nice secure head. So I'm happy with that. There's a couple of fibres I don't like the look of there, so I'm just going to again just hold this back and then just flash that carefully. You don't set fire to your house. And then I'll just recoat the head with varnish just to finish. Finish that up. So that is our Stimulator Sedge tied. There's a few fibres maybe sitting below the horizontal that I don't like there as well. So let me just pull or cut them out of there now. Not too bad. So our Stimulator Sedge. So thank you for watching until the end of the video. Please take this opportunity to hit the subscribe button down below. Tell your friends about the channel, and if you want to watch some more of my content, then check out some of the links that are appearing in your screens at the minute. As per usual, I hope you enjoyed the video, so until next time, tight lines, and thanks for watching.